Children undergo a vital stage of language and communication development in early life, so it is important to build early communication skills to lay a foundation for future communication competence. More specifically, developing a range of skills that comprehensively revolve around self-expression, understanding others, and engaging with the environment are essential in early childhood development. With this being said, it is important that these skills are encouraged by parents, carers, and educators. This can be achieved by educating and being aware of these major developmental milestones. Understanding these milestones and strategies to support them can significantly impact a child's future success in social interactions, academic achievement, and overall well-being. In this context, this infomercial aims to clarify the significance of early communication in relation to overall communication competence, review the key developmental milestones in this domain, offer parents, carers, and educators strategies to support children's communication development, and clarify how difficulties in this area may limit a child's ability to participate in daily activities or social interactions. This infomercial highlights the importance of early communication and provides guidance and suggestions on how to support children's language and communication development during these critical formative years.
Infant early communication is crucial for children to develop overall communication competence, as it's key for developing foundations of communication, articulation, language acquisition, and cognitive development. Foundationally, in infancy, we see a development from unintentional communication, where a baby's behaviour will communicate that they are in need of something, but the baby themselves don't exactly know what it is. For example, they may be crying yet not know what about. Contrastingly, intentional communication occurs around 8 to 9 months, where the development of intent has occurred. For example, the baby would cry if hungry to communicate that they want food. Similarly, the development from illocutionary communication, where infants use gestures and vocalization but no words, to locutionary communication, where words and intent are used, occurs in infancy. Progressing through these stages are important for the communication journey to develop further. A child's development is very important for language acquisition at this age. A baby's brain is making neural connections at a rapid rate. Infants' experiences are important as stimuli in the environment are crucial for neural activation and networking in the brain. Genetically, the brain is switching on different functions as we grow. However, our environment solidifies organized learning and understanding of communication. Therefore, interactions caregivers have with their infants can support language, social, and emotional development as the brain begins to make those neural connections. Furthermore, auditory and visual perceptions allow for infants to take in information and stimuli around them. From birth, babies need to hear vocalization, articulation, and language to be able to do the same. The universal neonatal hearing screening allows for infants to have their hearing tested. Hearing impairment is the most common sensory impairment in childhood. 0 to 12 months is a crucial age for the brain to develop early communication. If an infant isn't tested and they do experience a hearing impairment, then this could affect their cognitive, speech, and communication development.
In the first few years of life, from birth to 2 years old, children begin developing early signs of communication. From birth, infants demonstrate the social behaviours of crying and fussing, which may be signals of discomfort. These actions may indicate requests for food, attention, or reassurement. At the same time, infants will begin to distinguish the sounds in their environment, including their primary caretaker's voice, which they will show a preference for. By 3 months, infants should be performing non-verbal social behaviours like reacting to loud sounds, making cooing or pleasure babbling noises, and smiling when they see their mother or caretaker. Between 3 and 5 months, babies should be beginning to employ early consonant sounds in their babbling, such as b and m. During this time, infants will start the process of differentiating the array of phonemes or speech sounds of the languages they are exposed to. By 6 months, babies will typically recognize the basic foundational sounds from their native language. This usually results in 6 to 7-month-olds acquiring a receptive vocabulary of several words, where they have connected the word, for example their name, to the appropriate entities or concepts that they represent. Furthermore, babies at this stage may begin repeating syllables multiple times consecutively, also known as canonical babbling. They may also recognize stress patterns in words, for instance, the difference between emphasizing the first syllable or the last. The communication and language milestones for babies between 6 and 12 months largely include expanding their receptive vocabulary. For example, being able to follow simple commands with gestures such as wave by and stopping when told no. Joint attention, where the baby and another individual share attention on an object through gaze, pointing, or other indication, is typically developed at 9 months. A child's first word is commonly spoken at 12 months or between the range of 9 to 18 months. At this time, they may additionally say jargons or speech-like strings of babble. Next, between 15 and 18 months, babies will acquire more vocabulary and participate in conversations using simple words. Children will begin understanding sentences spoken to them between 18 and 24 months. During this period, they should have a vocabulary of around 50 words. Finally, the most advanced language milestone typically demonstrated by a 24-month-old should be combining words into two-word phrases, such as bowl go or blue car.
There are a myriad of strategies that parents and educators can use to help their infants and toddlers develop their communication abilities. A core strategy at this age is modelling, as infants and toddlers are highly observant and are highly prone to learning from and imitating behaviours performed by those around them. For example, if you have a conversation with your infant, model turn taking. Take a moment to say something and wait for their response and then say something else. Although they may or may not respond during their turn in the conversation, this models for the child how turn-taking in conversation occurs. Further, responding to your infant's early forms of communication such as cooing and smiling can validate their communication and encourage them to continue. Giving lots of praise to your toddler when they are using their first words is also very important, as this invites them to continue expressing themselves. Encouraging your toddler to put their thoughts, feelings, and emotions into words further supports their language development. Children at this age also have greater receptive language than expressive language. That is, they can understand a lot more language than they are able to use themselves. It is therefore highly recommended that parents and educators talk to their child a lot to teach them new words. Verbally expressing what you are doing when playing with your child, cooking, and even when you are in the car with them can help them develop their early communication skills. Reading stories, singing songs, and saying rhymes are also all great ways to encourage communication for your 0 to 2 year olds, as they are easy to remember and make learning fun. Overall, it is important to remember that every child is different and that their communication style will be unique. Offering support, encouragement, and praise for your child is important so that our little ones remain curious, receptive, and ready to learn.
Communication tends to develop normally in most children during early childhood. Difficulties in communicative competence may arise in some infants and toddlers. Difficulties and delays in this area can limit a child's ability to participate in activities as well as daily living. During communication development, children begin to process the world around them as well as understand different concepts such as emotion, thought, and feelings. When communication and its associated speech skills are delayed, it can directly impact a child's social, emotional, and mental health and well-being, therefore impacting a child's daily living. Communication can affect every aspect of a child's life, as it is pivotal to the learning, playing, and social interaction that occurs between 0 to 3 years of age. Communication difficulties can prohibit children from expressing their true feelings, needs, and wants, which can increase feelings of stress and anxiety within social situations. For example, a child may know exactly what they want to say, but are unable to decipher their thoughts into clear, understandable sentences, causing frustration. Furthermore, communication difficulties can also lead to an inability to process and express emotions appropriately. This may lead to the child demonstrating temper tantrums or behavioural issues, therefore impacting social and emotional health and well-being. If children of this young age are unable to make themselves understood by others and are regularly experiencing feelings of stress and anxiety, along with frustration and confusion, it can lead to self-isolation out of fear of being teased, further minimising a child's participation in daily activities. Delays in communicative competence can further impact a child's participation in social situations such as school. Studies have shown that difficulties in communication, speech, and language are linked to cognitive and academic skills, such as reading and writing. If a child is experiencing difficulty in communication, it may cause delays in receptive language skills, leading to further isolation within the school setting. Overall, difficulties and delays in communicative competence can impact children in multiple ways throughout their day-to-day life, as communication is an integral part of speech, language, and cognitive development. If this crucial component of development is delayed, it can have additional impacts on social, emotional, and mental health and well-being, as well as act to a barrier to a child's participation in activities in daily living.
In conclusion, early communication development plays a vital role in a child's overall communication competence, social interactions, academic achievements, and overall well-being. By providing an environment rich in stimuli, interactions, and modelling, infants and toddlers can develop a range of skills that comprehensively revolve around self-expression, understanding others, and engaging with the environment. It is important for parents, carers, and educators to understand the key developmental milestones in early communication and use these effective strategies to support children's language and communication development during these critical formative years. Early communication skills provide the foundation for future communication competence, so it is important to provide opportunities for infants and toddlers to learn and engage with their environment to help set children on a path towards lifelong success and fulfillment.